Cliff May joins us now. Cliff, the founder president of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Welcome. You want to just pick up on the general's points or larger points there that maybe this is something larger or bigger that they're working towards? What do you think?
A couple of things. One is, yes, Putin does not want any military aid, any rearmament, any intelligence help to go to Ukraine. Understand what he's saying. He's saying, I don't really want peace, I want victory. And if I can weaken Ukraine, then I will get victory later on. That's what he's talking about. The president is looking for a larger deal. I don't think he's going to get one from Putin. What we can infer from this phone call is that Putin reiterated the many demands he made to Special Envoy Witkoff and said, these are the things I want. Trump didn't give it to him. Trump didn't walk away empty-handed. You do have the ceasefire on energy infrastructure facilities. That's something, but it's not much because it doesn't mean, for example, that kindergartens and hospitals are not still fair game. And I would not be surprised within the next day or so if we see Russia hitting kindergartens and apartment buildings and other civilian things as they have been. Infrastructure it's something. It's a step, but it's very much a baby step.
Baby steps. Go ahead and finish that thought.
Well, I would also say this. I think that certainly it is in President Trump's mind. Can I pull Putin away from Xi Jinping and in Beijing, head of the most important, biggest, strongest communist party in history? Can I pull him away from Ali Khamenei, head of the Islamic Republic of Iran? It's worth a try, but I don't think it can possibly succeed. Xi Jinping, Ali Khamenei, Kim Jong-un in North Korea, they are in an axis of aggressors. They are cooperating very closely militarily, economically, politically, and diplomatically. They will not be pulled apart because they have one thing in common. They want to displace America as the preeminent power in the world. So it may be worth a try. I think the president is trying, but watch carefully. I don't think it's going to succeed.
So you and General Kim basically agree on the larger idea that President Trump is thinking strategically here. He spoke about the Middle East. You add in Asia to that strategy. You just don't think the odds of success are very high. Sometimes people oversimplify these kind of calls when we don't know a lot of information and say, oh, so-and-so won or so-and-so lost. Would you characterize any kind of an advantage today that's been gained on either side? Or?
Look, I think a baby step is what is correct. I think also that, or I hope I should say, that President Trump now knows what he needs to do next and perhaps at least has made that clear to President Putin privately. And what I mean by that is about a week ago and on a number of other occasions, President Trump has said, I have the power to do things that are devastating to Russia. I can put pressure on Putin, and he can put pressure on Putin the way he did on Zelensky. He can do that with serious economic sanctions that will really bite into the only cash cow that Putin has, which is his oil exports. There's other things he can do as well in terms of arms deliveries to the Ukrainians. He needs to put pressure on Putin. If he puts pressure on Putin, I think Putin will make concessions.
You think he's willing to? Trump?
I think it's necessary that he does, because not least because Xi Jinping is watching, Ali Khamenei is watching, Kim Jong-un is watching. Ukraine should not become, and I am sure President Trump does not want to become, what Afghanistan became for President Biden. We do not want to see troops from Russia, tanks from Russia, rolling into Kiev, and people have to run away, and terrible things are happening. What we want to see, I would like to see, at the very least, I'd like to see what we're talking about with the general, which is a frozen conflict along the lines of control. That's not what Putin wanted. He wanted a colony of Ukraine, or at least a vassal state like Belarus. That's what he wanted. If he gets territory, he may say, okay, I've enlarged Mother Russia. I've got a land bridge to Crimea where I have the Black Sea Fleet. I've kind of won, and that's okay. But I also consider it a reasonable win, not a great victory for justice, but a reasonable win if Ukraine at the end of the day still has its sovereign independence as a political entity and its unique culture. It is not dragged into the Russian Empire. And by the way, the Ukrainian children, we guess about 20,000 of them, that have been abducted, kidnapped, dragged to Russia, and are being put into forced adoptions and brainwashed to be Russians, they should be returned to the Ukrainian families from which they were taken.
Yeah, you would think. And there is some, to your point, political risk in that terrible alternative maybe for the president as well, which may speak to his motivations. We'll see. I mean, well, thank you, Cliff. The baby steps going in the right direction, I think, is the takeaway. So thank you for today, and we'll check back as this continues.